Everybody, welcome to Monday. Missed a session last week, so I'm going to be talking about this for a couple more weeks. I'm focused today talking about systems and processes, or processes and automation. I want to pick up where I left off last time. We talked a bit about how to choose where to focus your attention within your business. I put forward a picture of all of the things that you can do in your business, and showed two different versions, one for a service business and one for a product business, and talked about looking at processes from the customer's perspective, which I've taken the liberty of drawing in what I talked about last time. So this is an example. You can see the shaded green boxes are the processes that have the potential to make customers delighted or happy to refer us. The red outlines show the processes that have the potential to make customers want to walk away from us, do business with somebody else, tell everybody that they shouldn't do business with us. What I want to talk about today are the three different views from the inside that I think you should apply when considering whether or not you should focus on a process. So I'm going to skip forward to the next slide and notice that a whole bunch of little icons show up. One for people, one for process, and one for systems. So what I suggest you look at deciding where to focus your attention. From a people perspective, do you have the capability and capacity to do this work? Do your people know how to do it, and have they got enough time to actually do the work? From a process perspective, do you currently have consistent or repeatable processes, and do you have efficient processes? So are you getting things done efficiently when you're doing work? And lastly, from a systems perspective, and when I say systems, I don't just mean IT systems. They could be pieces of equipment, they could be IT systems, or they could just be paper-based manuals that tell you how to do things. So do those systems actually support the process or support the activity effectively? So are they fit for purpose? And in some cases, you may also want to consider, are they cost effective as well as are they effective? So are they expensive or not expensive? So following through with looking at an example, if you consider the areas where there's some gaps, you can see that I've highlighted some bigger gaps, red, smaller gaps, orange. And that does two things. You can see where there's a combination of outside-in focus and inside-out focus, that we should definitely be looking at focusing in these areas. And in the areas where neither of them appear, we can worry about it less, worry about who's going to do the work on a day-to-day basis, or do we even need to do this activity on a regular basis? Can we leave it alone for a few months or at least a few weeks? If I carry forwards to the last slide, you can see that when we take away those non-focus areas, that leaves us with 6 activities to focus on rather than 15. And you can probably pick the top 3 pretty readily out of these 6, so that you as a business owner can really focus your attention on the 3 things that are going to make the most difference. Next week, I'm going to be joined by a guest who's going to talk with me about automation and what kind of processes you might want to invest your time and money into automating to give you the most leverage. I will be talking from the perspective of somebody who's keen to improve processes before automating them. But Callum, who's joining me, is likely to jump to things that you can get leverage from automating quickly without having to jump straight into automating them. The following week, I'm going to jump forward and talk about, if you're focusing on a process and you don't want to spend any money on automation, then what do you do? What activities do you perform as a business owner to make your activities work better? As a precursor to that, I will say that once you've identified your focus areas, I'd be recommending that you focus your attention on those areas and that you get the rest of your team and your broader team, the people that you outsource to focus on the rest of the activities. That's enough from me from today. I will catch everybody next week with my guest.